This is a stimulus and social security update. Got some important update to share with you. President Biden put out a tweet saying that one form of stimulus payment is a top priority and needs to go out to certain Americans now. $800 monthly checks applications are officially open to certain Americans, and the poll was put out, and over 80% of Americans believe that Medicare and Social Security should not be cut, but other government programs should be cut. I'll let you know what those are. When it comes to cutting Social Security, I'll let you know what Mitt Romney has to say about that.
Currently proposing to cut benefits to Social Security.
And I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel for more daily, straight-to-the-point updates on matters that financially matter to you. So, stimulus update. This Biden tweet shows restoring this payment is a top priority. What's he talking about? So President Biden recently sent out a tweet highlighting the effectiveness of one form of stimulus relief found in the American Rescue Plan Act. Biden said the expanded child tax credit provided cut child poverty in half. He has indicated he wishes to restore the funding and in his proposal budget would do so. What he's talking about here is the child tax credit, which would give either $3,000 to children aged 6 to 17 or $3,600 age 5 and under, broken up into monthly payments of either $250 a month or $300 a month. So President Biden wants to bring that back. It happened for a little bit, but more specifically what he said is thanks to the American Rescue Plan, the expanded child tax credit cut child poverty in half and gave tens of millions of parents breathing room, Biden explained. My budget would restore it. So yeah, President Biden wants that back. While Biden has sent out many tweets addressing various economic issues, this is one of the few tweets that highlights a specific financial request in his budget plan. By sending out this tweet and explaining the monumental impact the expanded credit had, the president has made clear that restoration of this credit is a top priority. So is it going to happen? Possibly, if there is some ground that the Democrats want to give to the Republicans in the negotiations. Doesn't mean it's official yet just because President Biden wants it and it's in his budget plan. So I'll keep you updated on that, whether the $250 per month or $300 per month checks go through. Speaking of monthly payments, cash grab. Americans can start applying for $800 monthly direct payments. See who qualifies and when the money arrives. So this is going on in California. Another universal basic income program. Basically, this one's giving $1,800 monthly payments for 18 months, and it's in collaboration with Coachella Valley nonprofits Queer Works and Adapt Health. So applications open on March 15th for the online portal. So if you live in the Coachella, California area and you have some income requirements, and Riverside County as well, I guess that is Riverside County, but yeah. If you qualify for that, $800 monthly payments. And then a poll, Two America's Index, hands off Social Security and Medicare. So according to this poll, share of U.S. adults who say they oppose reducing spending in certain select areas. So 88% said do not cut Social Security and Medicare. Medicaid and food assistance, 76% said don't cut that. And then military and national security, 66% said don't cut that. So nearly 9 in 10 Americans say they oppose reducing spending on Social Security or Medicare, according to new polling. The overwhelming consensus, 96% of Democrats, 84% of Republicans, explains why any cutting of these programs has become political lightning rod, even as lawmakers on both sides of the aisle recognize potential concerns regarding long-term solvency. President Biden has used various Republican proposals to paint the entire GOP as a threat to Social Security and Medicare, even as party leadership insists the program will be off the table for spending talks. 3/4 of Americans also oppose reducing Medicaid or food assistance. That's 92% of Americans, 61% of Republicans. 49% say inflation is the most important issue facing the country. 57% say it's their top local issue. And opioid addiction and education were cited at 11% and 8% as top national issues, respectively, but doubled to 21% and 18% in terms of top local concerns. So yeah, this was from a poll that was recently done. Let me know, what are your thoughts? Cutting Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid and food assistance, military and national security. How would you rate those? What is the top issue that you are concerned about now as the country as well as the local area? Let me know down in the comments below. Really curious about that. When it comes to cutting Social Security and Medicare, Romney grills Biden official about Social Security intense exchange. So mentioned this the other day, but I wanted to show you the official video clip because I feel like me reading the transcript didn't really do it justice. Take a look at this. I want to hear your thoughts on it.
Romney's up next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think it's helpful if we're going to be responsible as we consider discussions about our spending and the budget, if we put COVID funding aside, because I think it's embarrassing to suggest the president has reduced the size of the deficit or reduced spending as a percentage of GDP. When we had COVID, we were in the midst of COVID, we passed extraordinary measures. The president, went far beyond Congress with a $1.9 trillion plan. To say somehow that he's been cutting the deficit is just not realistic. And Senator Scott described the change in actual federal funding on a baseline basis. I think if you're serious about discussing the budget and what's going on, what our needs are, putting COVID funding aside is essential for that conversation. On a separate topic, I'm not aware of anyone in this category, but are you aware of anyone of the elected officials we have in the federal government, at the Congress, or anywhere else that have proposed cutting currently proposed cutting benefits for Social Security of any kind?
Senator, I have heard of proposals.
No. You've heard of proposals from a current senator, currently or congressman, currently proposing to cut benefits to Social Security?
Yes. Have they changed their position?
No.
Maybe. But yes. Members who are current members.
I said, has anyone in the last several months or the last year, has anyone, Republican or Democrat, proposed Social Security benefits?
So now you're asking if people change their position? Maybe. But there are
Are you aware of anyone?
There is a record.
Are you aware of
current members
anyone?
Congress
Excuse me. Are
have
you aware of
policies.
anyone? Are you aware of anyone proposing cutting Social Security benefits?
Your first question, current members have well-known policies out there to cut Social Security and Medicare.
That's simply wrong. That is simply wrong. And it's not honest to say that to members of Congress. That is simply wrong. There is no one who's recommending cutting Social Security benefits, all right? Number one. Number two, do you recognize that in the next 10 years or so, the trust fund on Social Security is going to run out, and under the law, benefits would be cut dramatically, like 25%. You're aware of that?
I'm aware.
Yeah. That's a problem, right?
Of course.
Well, why is it then that in the president's budget there's no effort to address that whatsoever?
And while we clearly disagree on this, there are some who have policies on websites. I'm happy to print them and send them to the committee. Whether they have changed their position is another thing. Who want to cut have policies.
I'm sorry, that was not the question. The question was.
So this president.
I'm sorry, you've got to answer the questions as opposed to change the topic.
Has put forth
I asked the
budget
question:
on
Why
Social
does the president's budget not
cut?
lay out how you would protect Social Security?
This president believes the existential threat to Social Security are those who want to cut it. His budget says no.
There's nobody in this committee that wants to cut it. I know of no Republican or Democrat in the House or the Senate who is proposing cutting Social Security benefits, and it's dishonest to keep saying it. It's offensive and dishonest and not realistic. We have a problem in Social Security. We need to address it. You agree we have a problem in Social Security. Make it clear, 1,000%. No Republican is proposing cutting Social Security benefits. Now, the question is, why have you not proposed in your budget any action to protect Social Security?
Senator, I look forward to seeing plans that are very clear.
The question is, why have you not proposed it?
Why have you
not made a proposal?
They will not cut Social Security. This president has put it in black and white. We look forward to seeing a plan that suggests that Social Security is off the table. This president believes the biggest threat to Social Security are those who want to cut it. His budget says no.
You know, I really do find that just offensive in the extreme, which is you can't name anyone who is proposing Social Security benefits. I have said, and I know my colleagues, no one is proposing cutting Social Security benefits for our Social Security recipients. No one is proposing that on our side. And you keep on saying that's the biggest threat. The biggest threat is in 10 years or so, the Social Security Trust Fund runs out of money and benefits get automatically cut by 25%. We don't want that to happen. I'm upset that the president hasn't included any effort to address that shortfall because I want to protect Social Security benefits for all of our recipients. Now, the question I have is, you do, fortunately, look at Medicare and suggest, hey, we need to take action to protect Medicare. I agree with that. I'm glad you do. You propose, however, the only solution is not cutting costs at all, but only raising taxes. Do you believe there's any prospect that Republicans are going to vote to raise taxes only as a way to save Medicare?
For those over 400,000, I hope so, that they would raise those
No, I
taxes
said,
by
do
1.2%.
you believe that Republicans in the House and in the Senate are going to vote to raise taxes and nothing else, just raise taxes to save Medicare?
Well, that is not the only proposal. If you look, the net investment income tax, which was always created to go into the Medicare Trust Fund and was not, we suggest moving that over as a part of keeping Medicare extended by at least 25 years. So that's one part of the proposal. That is not a raising of tax. That
Do you
is
believe,
accounting
I know
for-
my time is up, do you believe that it makes sense for a bipartisan effort to work together to find compromise positions, common ground, to actually save Social Security and protect Medicare?
Yes.
Thank you.
What are your thoughts? Do you think Republicans want to cut Social Security? Is it just a handful, or is it not going to happen at all? I'm really curious. There's this weird narrative going on where Democrats and President Biden accusing Republicans of cutting Social Security, although no proposal, no official legislation introduced, at least specifically cutting Social Security Medicare. So it's kind of odd what's going on, but let me know your thoughts on that. And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is Bella's tip of the day. I want to tell you that you could be anything that you want in the world. You could be, for example, you could be a veterinarian, take care of dogs, help dogs, or you could be a nurse. And you could help people, or you could be a doctor, or you could be like anything as you want. You are your own self. You could be whatever you want when you get older, if you're older. Bye, that was Bill's tip of the day.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. So it is just me and the girls today. My wife is working a 24-hour shift. She's a nurse, if you weren't aware. So it's just me and the girls. We're going to hang out, do some fun stuff. Looks like it's getting nice out, so maybe go to the beach or something. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day. If you want to check out any of my other videos, you could click right up here. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Be safe. Thank you for watching.